Hi everybody, we're doing something a little different today. So I'm joined today by the founder of Duddell's, which is a Michelin-starred restaurant in Hong Kong for beautiful Chinese cuisine, Alan Lowe.
Hello.
Hello. And today we are going to talk about some of Alan's favorite dishes and kind of go through like some of the special things about them and a little bit of the history of them and also how all this stuff fits into the grander world of Chinese cuisine. Because Chinese cuisine, you know, China being such a big place, is very regional, you know, and here we are in Hong Kong in South China. And I think that actually has a lot more meaning and implication than what most people realize. So Alan, what do we have on the table with us today?
We have the salted crispy fried chicken, which is one of our signature dishes. We've had this dish since we opened 7 years ago. And it has a special place on our menu.
I can imagine so. It smells amazing. And you know what? Yes.
Yes.
Before we started this video, we were kind of debating like when were we actually going to dig into this. Huh? It's still warm. So we did a very good job of introing it. I think this is where we speed up the video so that the chewing is not so long.
Obviously, Southern China has really good quality chicken. And it kind of shows in when you look at like chicken recipes, you know, where it's straightforward. I wanted to say simple, but actually it's very complex, you know, because it goes through a salt brining process. It goes through, and then the chicken is air dried before it's fried and served on the table. But like it's as you probably know, it's Cantonese food is an expression of the freshness of the ingredients.
And listen, man, everything about Cantonese food I learned from you.
No.
So please, like, expound at length, like, what's great about Cantonese food? Because, like you mentioned, this is kind of like a new take on how they used to.
Yeah, it's kind of it's a twist on the classic crispy fried chicken, which doesn't go through the salt, that salt brine. But here, I guess you have kind of this additional dimension to this. You have this kind of the succulent, incredibly fresh chicken, super tender, and then you have the crispiness, and then also you have that kind of that saltiness without being too salty. Our chef's creative take on or a contemporary take on what would otherwise be a relatively classic recipe.
So going back to like how you make it, right? So it's brined so that the chicken is salted, and then
it's salt water, so it's soaked in salt water.
And then how do you get it to this stage? Like, what is that final step? Because I know that final step is pretty special.
Well, the trick is also the air drying is the trick also, because the skin needs to go through a stage or an environment where it dries up. So when you're frying it, actually the skin actually becomes beautifully crispy. Obviously, when you fry, you don't just like stick it into the fryer. You kind of like hold the whole chicken, and then you pour. It's a super slow process. You pour boiling hot oil on the chicken from when it's raw to when it basically beautifully golden and crispy.
So it's
very
delicate,
very laborious.
Yeah, that's amazing. That's amazing.
And I guess in a way, kind of a reflection of. You think about the sophistication of, or how it even came about, when imagining like how, 100+ years ago when the whole kind of Guangdong area used to be the most, kind of affluent part of the country, with being coastal, so it has access to the best seafood, the best poultry, the best produce, and of course you have being affluent. You have obviously, Chinese families and patrons who support the idea or kind of encourage the idea of creating
like going to a new level.
Yeah, sophistication. It's like in art. It's like in culture. It's all about patronage.
That's fascinating. Yeah, it is all about patronage
And tailoring.
and tailoring.
Yes.
Too. It all goes full circle.
It's all about patronage.
All right, man. Well, thank you. That was a really interesting introduction into this fascinating dish. And so, one last time, what would you call it in English and in Cantonese?
Crispy salted fried chicken. 鹽香雞.
Perfect. All right. Thanks, Alan. Appreciate it.
Thank you.